guys, I figured out how to do the horizontal screen. It wasn't that hard. I just had to look up a little video. I didn't. And actually, if I would have looked on the little option to the right, it gives you the option to, it says orientation. So anyway, I did find some 7,000. So we're going to go ahead and try to dry this out a little bit more. I wish I could see the comments. Maybe I'll have to get another phone. Actually, no, I do see the comments, but when y'all start commenting, I don't see any now because y'all aren't commenting. Everybody's in here. So I am going to take and roll these gears to get some of the grease off. Being that there's no end shims, that's good because those are so easy to lose. I've lost so many end shims when doing dips, and it's only like I'll lose one. And a lot of times I won't even notice it somehow, and then I go to open the diff up the next time, and I'm like, oh, where's the shim? So, definitely want to be careful when checking, when installing it, make sure you get every piece back on there. But missing one shim, it will just loosen the differential, so 1,000 it may in there. But anyway, all right. So getting these pretty clean here. Let's see if I can. So hard to pick up here. So I think I am going to plan to get to a racing because my hand's starting to feel better. The numbness, I've had numbness in my right hand for like 2 years, from working. I work with my hands and, doing packaging, manufacturing, a little bit of everything at the place I work. But anyway, I just got back to work recently because I went back to work about a week ago because my hand actually started coming back to life. I got surgery about a month and a half ago, so I was out of work for about 5 weeks. But we are back at it now. So, all right. So I'm going to rejoin these pieces if I can. All right. So let's get this first one down in there. Nope. Butterfingers over here. I do hope that I get some more time to race more here in the future. My daughter's got last year she had 6 gymnastics meets all in the first scale. We also now have a 10 indoor dirt that's in Sparta about an hour away, and then about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer depending on traffic. In Charlotte, we have a place called Launch Point RC. If any of you guys are in the the greater Charlotte area anywhere, definitely go check them out, man. They race 10 scale carpet. The track's come a long way now. They got a wall ride. They've got modular things. I saw Lefty made a video yesterday. I saw it yesterday anyway, where he is talking about how 10 scale indoor with modular tracks may be one of the best things to start doing now for R3 racing and 10 scale, just to keep racing alive. Because tracks are closing, they're hard to, with the economy these days, a track is an expensive venture, and if you're not getting steady, racers coming to your events, it's not going to go well probably. So alright, we'll go ahead and get this in here. My friends like to weigh the diff fluid. I've saw a few methods, and this is one I've kind of done the last time or two. But what I'll generally do is I will fill this up. And right to where I think around the edges, fill a little bit more. I'll let that settle. Alright, that looks just about right. Alright, so, that gasket is still in good condition if you look at it. So, if you ever put new gaskets on something, if I don't put grease all over the entire gasket, it will leak. Dry gaskets is not the way to go. I don't know. Tell me how you guys do it. But I don't use dry gaskets. I will grease them. And of course, I put grease on that little spot where you put grease on these out drives. Which for that, I use Red and Tacky. Red and Tacky is my go-to. I did use white lithium on the gears for a while. As far as on this gear to the pinion gear, but I just don't like it. It doesn't seem to hold on to the gears well. I feel like it shears off really quickly. This Red and Tacky, as long as you don't use too much, is going to be probably the best thing I use, I think. So, all right. So let's get my bit in here. Okay, we got that going. Let's get some screws going in. Now, the one thing about this drill is that it does. Oh, did I miss the holes? It does not have like adjustable speed. I think yeah, it does not have adjustable speed, so you gotta be careful when it gets close. I'll show you something else. But when it gets close, you want to stop and then hand tighten it the rest of the way. Unless you're really just. Well, the other thing you can do is, see now, I just turn my hand with the motor off, and I just take and turn it, and that's working pretty good actually, because it doesn't want to rotate real easily. I don't know if it's locked. I don't believe it is locked. But anyway, and then when removing them, like if you're using this, because it's only one speed to remove a screw, I generally just put it in there and I'll literally twist it like that with my hand, and unless it screws really in there, it should be enough strength to get it started coming out. All right, so always doing a cross pattern. And some people get in here. Hopefully last time when I started the live, it took about 15 minutes, and about 10 or 15 people come in. So that was cool. I'm hoping that happens again. I did put a better title to the last one. This one just said RC Offroad is going live. But I'm still working on the Mugen. I hope some of y'all come back and replay this later. Like I said, my camera needs to be cleared of some storage so I can make more videos. My iPhone is damaged. It's in the repair shop, so I'm waiting to get that back right now. So I'm using an old Samsung, but it's getting the job done. But all right, so that looks pretty good. So now, next thing we are going to go to, because I'm changing out the diff box, so I need to get the pieces off of here, get this drive shaft removed. Maybe I need to replace these bearings. I probably will. But let me go ahead and start disassembling this. Let's see. I hope this. A lot of times these grub screws can be really difficult, and you do run a risk of stripping out the grub screw or stripping your driver a little bit. But that one seemed to come off pretty smooth, pretty easy. And as you can see, like I bought this used. I had not gone through the front diff. I did go through the rear, But when I had my Mugen, the front dip usually would hold up a lot longer than the rear. I would only have to, service the front probably half as often. So anyway, let's get this popped out, take a look at it, see if there's any wear. Looks pretty good. Now this car does have the underdrive. So in the front is a 13 pinion and a 44 uh, ring gear. In the back it is 42 and 12. So they're all in good shape. I hadn't looked at this one yet, but looking at these teeth, you can't see that real great. Camera ain't great, especially on lives, but it's in good shape. So I'm gonna get it cleaned off. Not gonna worry about cleaning out this box. I'll pop these bearings out, see if they're potentially reusable, but I've got lots of these size bearings. You guys, now this is on Mugens and Associateds. I know Associated, I think, is using flange bearings a lot of times now, but these are 8/16 by 5s, very standard size bearing. Buggies use somewhere else. These are, so a roll on eBay. They sell a roll of very high quality that I would only recommend using for the drivetrain because they do have a lot of grease in them and a whole lot of, or they're very tight tolerance. So they're not like a real free spinning ceramic or some of the, like the J&T NMBs, but they're super high quality and they won't fail on you in your diff box. You'll never have a failed bearing, which is great. I think at the wheels you need something more free, especially with a nitro vehicle. Electric, it's probably not as important, but with a nitro vehicle, you're going to want to use some free rolling, bearings. Now these ones, they feel smooth. They feel like they got a lot of grease in them still. This one's a little Nazi actually. So we will definitely replace these. So I've still got to disassemble this part of the, I was going to use this case, but if you can look, there's some damage to where that little top line kind of, so I feel like it would probably get dirt in there. So sorry the light in here is not good, guys. I don't know if I can turn my light on. Hold on. I don't see how I would do that. So anyway, I'm gonna have to remove this one. Now this is not a new, but it's in a lot better shape. So, because this one, apparently this thing had a hard impact at the front because one day I looked at it and the screws were coming out from, not that side, but well, yeah, the screws were coming out at the front, meaning this is the back side. That these holes are stripped out. So that's why I'm replacing one shim on it, but it was broken, so I'm gonna replace that. So, but what you guys been doing? Anybody race this weekend? I think I can see your comments if you leave a comment. I am on my cell phone, not my computer. My daughter spilled Pepsi on this computer about 2 weeks ago, so we're waiting to get a new one. So that is a rear shock tower, but I am using this in the front. The diff boxes are the same as for the front and the rear. So I'm going to be getting a new buggy, electric buggy here soon. Trying to decide what to get. I don't want to go with Serpent, I don't think. I was considering a Relarlo just because, I don't know, man. I like to try different stuff. But, well, I got no more people watching. But anyway, hopefully some more people come in. I was considering trying Relarlo, but I've been seeing they're having too many issues with their stuff. And, it's like the guy's trying to create a, a legitimate race platform through a China, you know, kind of, don't really want to call them budget RCs, but that's pretty much what they are. Um, yeah, but they're of higher quality. They're not like a WL Toys, low quality. They are more of a high tier quality than that. So, um, I haven't really messed with many cheap racing. So, 8 years about I've raced now, and so I really don't use the I don't buy cheap RCs unless I'm buying it for a friend of mine. Like I got one for my nephew, got one for my friend. My buddy was down this past 2 weeks, like 2 weekends ago, and his son was like, every time any young boy comes here, they love RC cars. They want me to see me run them. They want to drive them, and I always end up letting them drive them, and they love them. So I think the hobby could grow if there was more parents that were trying to help their kids get into RC, but it is cost prohibitive for a lot of families. Um, but there are cheaper ways to get into it where you can have fun. I think some of these, I know Yokomo has a ready set 10 scale buggy, so if you have a 10 scale track, that's like a perfect thing to get going. Buy some used electronics, some cheap new batteries, transponder, and now look, the place Launch Point RC, they use like a $25 transponder, so, and they work well. They use infrared, just a little beam, or they put it on a piece of wood, I think, like 3 or 4 sensors right over where traditionally the loop would be, and as long as you have a clear sight to it, it picks up well. So we've never had problems. I have 2 different ones. I have the TrackMate and the whatever the other one are. They both look real similar, but they are different. So, alright, so this drive shaft is still in great shape, so there's there. I do have a new drive shaft, which is the same I have in the front. Let me see. Yeah, on the back right now I have a CVD. This is a UVA, or Universal, I think it's called. I think I will transfer this one onto there also. Maybe not in the end, but I'll give it about 5 more minutes, see if anybody comes in here and wants to watch. If not, there will be, I'm going to leave this up for people watching if they want to. But I was hoping we get some conversations going on about what everybody else is driving, what they're working on, how racing's been going for anybody who's a racer. My channel did not start out as a racing channel. I just had a passion for RC cars when I first got my first like toy one. I started thinking, well, let's just make videos, because that's how I got into it, by watching other videos. So I just wanted to share my love and passion for it and kind of see where it went. It never really took off for me, I just don't have the time or know how to make very good videos, I reckon. But I did make a lot of just covering my own races, my own how I was doing at races and stuff. But it's okay. I still appreciate that I have somewhere where I've got all this stuff stored so I can put it in the future. So hang on a second, guys. One more second, guys. Gotta put some parts on. All right, guys. Trying to get ready for school tomorrow. My daughter's got her first day of school, going in 7th grade. Sure luck if y'all see this. Thanks for watching, those of y'all that did, and I do plan on getting back into RC harder and making more videos, guys. So y'all be seeing me in the future. Love you guys. Stay up. See y'all later.